Hey guys, hope you guys are doing well. So today I just wanted to share sort of a pro tip with you guys when it comes to dealing with Turo support, whether you're talking to them on the phone or you're doing live chat support, talking to them through email. You can come across a million different scenarios when you're doing the Turo business that you need support on, from modifying trips, late returns, mileage overages, reimbursement disputes. It's just all kinds of stuff. And I was really reminded of this lesson the other day because I had 3 issues going on with one car across 3 reservations that were back to back. So it was just sort of this crazy domino effect that went on, and I needed a lot of issues resolved by support. So it kind of went with the first reservation returning the car 2.5 hours late. They went way over mileage. They disputed the reimbursement on the mileage, to the next guest not having enough funds to extend their trip and them just keeping the car for an additional 25 hours. And finally, the third trip having to be canceled because the previous guest didn't return the car, which resulted in me getting charged for a cancellation, even though it was out of my control. So there was a lot going on. And the thing that I've learned over the years, how to almost guarantee that you'll have a good experience with support, the number one thing that I can tell you guys is kindness. Be nice. Being nice really takes you way further than you would ever imagine. And I think that that is why majority of the time that I have dealt with Turo support, I've had a good experience, because you have to approach it in a certain way. Most of the time when you're talking to support, whether it's live chat or over the phone, you are talking to somebody who is abroad, whether they're in the Philippines or Honduras or wherever they might be located. So there is that language barrier. And it's not always the case where you have trouble, but oftentimes that language barrier does play a role in the type of experience that you have. And it's very easy to get frustrated as a host when you are trying to deal with issues with your renters and you're trying to get that across to support. And because every scenario can be so different, you essentially have to tell a story about what happened and explain it and present the documentation. And I've noticed that more and more often, these support agents will, the first thing they'll tell you is, hey, can you give me 3 to 5 minutes so that I can look into what's going on? And sometimes your instant thought is, well, hey, I just explained to you what's going on. Or 3 to 5 minutes is kind of a long time, because we're so used to that culture of instant gratification that you think that you should get your support like that. But it doesn't always work like that, because that's just not what the system is. And that is okay. Your only objective as a host is to get these issues resolved as easily as possible. Now, the system that we're working in, majority of it, it's not based here in the US, as it isn't for most companies. So it's not like this is anything unusual that Turo is doing, or necessarily that we should even expect anything different. This is just the way business is done, especially when it comes to providing support on such a large scale like Turo has to for so many hosts and renters and all the things that are involved in it. So my tip is, when you are dealing with support, whether it's live chat or on the phone, one of the things that I always try to do is contact them when you have time. Of course, you're not always going to be in a scenario where things are not time sensitive. Sometimes you have a guest waiting for you, a reservation coming up, and you need to get things resolved quickly. So it's not always going to happen. But in my case, all of these events already took place, and then they just needed to be dispositioned and resolved. So I had time. So I purposely chose a time where I could get behind my computer. I didn't have much else going on, and I can give support the time that they needed to dissect each case and get it resolved for me. So if you go into it with the preface that you're gonna be patient, you're gonna be nice, and you're just gonna work with the person on the other end to help them understand what's going on, I'm positive, I almost guarantee you that you're going to have a good experience and that your issues are going to be resolved. And then also, the person on the other end is more prone to wanting to help you and wanting to help you get it figured out. So whenever they tell me, hey, can you please hang on 3 to 5 minutes? My response is always, no problem, take your time, there's no rush. So I like to reassure them that, hey, as a host, I'm not panicked, I'm not mad, I'm not frustrated. I just want to get this resolved. Thank you so much in advance for your help. So I'll drop seeds like that. I thank them before they even do anything. I let them know that, hey, there's no worries, there's no rush. Take your time. Look into it as thoroughly as you need to. Do you need anything from me? I'm happy to provide you whatever you need. As soon as you do that, it calms the person on the other end down. And I think that, oftentimes, and I've done it too, where when something is time sensitive and you feel like the person on the other end is not understanding what you're saying, you get frustrated. You're like, come on, like, I have a guest waiting and I need to get this resolved. Like, how many times do I have to repeat the same thing over and over again? Why can't we just get this resolved? And I've noticed in instances like that where I've lost my cool, it actually almost like discombobulates the person on the other end. And it's most likely because of that language barrier, and they don't want to be in a position to where they are making a host or a guest upset, because that will probably result in a low rating for that customer service agent, and they don't want that either. So I have found it best that if you come from a standpoint of kindness and patience, it will almost always go your way. Now, I'm not saying that, you should give up on whatever it is that you're trying to do or just solely focus on that. Your objective should always remain. Don't take no for an answer. Ask 100 times if you have to until you get the thing that you're looking for. Be resilient, be relentless when it comes to things that you need to get done for your business, because at the end of the day, you don't want anything to mess with your money. You got to run your cars like they're a business. And I definitely have that perspective. But kindness is the finesse, I would say, that it takes to get these things done. And I was thinking a lot about this today as I thought about, the experience that I had with support the other day. And I thought about, where did I even get this notion from? And why did I start applying this sort of tactic to when it comes to dealing with people? And I learned that after thinking about it, the people that I look up to the most, my mentors, people who are incredibly successful in business, people who I would even consider very shrewd business people, who you don't mess with their money. If they need to get something done, it's going to get done no matter what. But I've always noticed that those same people in the same breath are also some of the kindest people that I've come across. They are kind in the way that they deal with people. They're kind in the way that they speak. They're kind in the energy that they put out there. And I truly believe that that is the finesse that you need to get things done. And you'd be surprised if you pay attention and if you look around, just even in your day-to-day, there are not that many people out there that are kind or extend that gesture of kindness. It is rare, and especially if you put yourselves in the shoes of a support agent their sole job is almost dealing with problems all day long, whether it's from the host side or the renter side or their management, whatever it might be. That is their job, is to mitigate problems. So they are probably bombarded on a daily basis by people who are unhappy with something, that are frustrated, that they're trying to get something done, and maybe they don't understand Turo, and then there's the language barrier on top of it. So when you come from a standpoint of kindness, it is actually incredibly refreshing for these people, and you'll notice it right away. It'll change their entire behavior towards you, their language towards you, and you will get exactly what you're looking for. So I just wanted to put that out there, because I know that there are ups and downs with Turo support. I've been with Turo for so many years, and overall, I would say over the years of doing this, support has gotten drastically better. Sometimes there are issues with latency, whether that's because demand is really high, business is busy, markets are busy, so there's a lot of inquiries coming in. In that scenario, there's not much you can do about it other than just be patient. But when you are actually dealing with support, if you're kind and approach people in that way, it'll take you far, much further than you think you can get. So wanted to share that with you guys. Also, the other day I had a renter, so sweet. They left me a little card in one of my cars, and this was a virtual handoff. I didn't even get to meet these people. I barely even talked to them, actually. And it was so sweet. And I noticed that in my years of doing Turo, I often get cards like this. And I think it's just so cool that somebody would go out of their way to get a card, to address it to me, handwrite it to me, and leave me a note when they've never even met me or don't even know me. And that is seriously what makes Turo so unique. I'm fairly certain that nobody is leaving greeting cards or thank you cards or gift cards inside of a Hertz, Enterprise, or budget car rental. You know, that's not what's happening. And that is what separates Turo from every other type of car rental, is that human to human interaction, that experience that you can provide even without having to meet a guest. So I'll just read this to you guys really quick. This was a couple that was visiting from out of town. Just a really sweet, simple note. Nice car, nice day. A trip on PCH with the top down. Incredible. Take one off the bucket list. Thank you so very much. They signed their names, and then they wrote, if you're ever in South Alabama and need some help, call us. And they left their phone number. So that was so sweet. So I'm wondering if any of you guys ever encounter things like this. This is something that I see happen every single year, and it always blows me away every time it happens, and I just love it. I live for this type of stuff. All right, you guys, on that note, that is sort of my pro tip for the day. I hope that you guys find this strategy help you when it comes to dealing with support, because no matter what, you will always need support from Turo. Issues will continue to arise, and just know that you can work everything out and everything can be resolved if you go about it the right way. Thank you so much for watching, guys. I hope you all have a great rest of your day, and I will talk to you guys tomorrow. Bye, guys.